Hi, I'm Gavin, and welcome to BLockBlaze. Probably I was about 6 years old. So as children, we used to obviously get Lego. So it's the really old sets of little cars and things. And also my parents didn't really have much money, so we didn't have huge Lego sets or lots of Lego. And even in those days, we didn't have the big sets and the modulars and everything that we got nowadays. So I've been in it since pretty much 44 years now, 45 years. I got into it more as an adult when I started working, because I could then afford my own Lego. But I still got all my sets that I had as a child. And one of those things was my mother wouldn't let us play with our Lego anywhere else except in her room. So it was like this barrier at the door. We were promised with faith it's worse than death if we took the Lego out the room. And for that reason, I still got every single piece from my childhood days. The best one was that yellow Lego castle. It was the first one, and they actually had the minifigures in. And I think that was the first of the main sets that really came out. And even on the 60th anniversary, we got the little sets together. That yellow castle is on it. I actually won a competition. I was living in Kimberley at the time, and I got a 20 Rand voucher. And I still remember my father, he was coming up to Johannesburg. I said, please, can you buy me this Lego set? And I gave him the 20 Rand voucher. Needless to say, he came home with the Lego set, and my mother still said I had to be very grateful because he had to pay in a hell of a lot of extra money to actually get me that set. I don't know how much it was in those days, but I could imagine it was probably just another 20 Rand. So can you imagine if we can get sets at that price nowadays? I was actually in a toy shop, and I saw one of the Lego modulars, and I thought that's a real cool set to have. And it was actually quite funny because just at the time I got retrenched from my job, and it wasn't probably not the best time to start buying Lego, but I actually got into it then. And that was the first of my actual love for the modulars, and ever since then I've been collecting them. So I've managed to get all the modulars. Obviously I started at the third one that came out, and I've now managed to get the first two, and I've got all of them since then up to the current one. On the modulars as well, when you put them together, I actually noticed there's so much detail inside, and once you've built them, they get put back together again, all the floors on top of each other, and you can't really see what's in it. So the one day I was looking at the side of the box, and the side of the box actually shows an exploded view out of what the floors look like and what's inside. And I thought it would be a good idea to actually try and display it like that. So what I did is I built Perspex separators that we could actually separate them like they looked on the Lego box, and you could actually see inside. Obviously then that was a bit dark looking inside it, so then added lighting on top of each floor so that you could actually see what the detail is inside. And it's interesting to see from the very first modular where there was hardly anything to the actual level of detail that they're putting into the modulars now, and all the nice sort of nuances and quirks that they actually build into these sets. And then just the building techniques that they actually use in some of them. And as the modulars are getting more and more advanced, so the building techniques are changing as well. The one I enjoyed the most probably was the diner. I didn't think I would because it didn't quite fit in with the European style. But the sort of sideways building of the windows, and the strange ways of actually putting these things together. You're busy building and you think, what are they trying to do? Until you actually see it and you think, oh, that's a really clever idea. And the thing is that it comes out once a year, so it's not like Star Wars or something where you've got so much choice that you can actually choose from. It's a nice one to look forward on an annual basis that you can actually add to the collection. If you want to get into modular themes now, it's too late. Because you can start from now. I assume Lego will carry on with this theme for as long as they're around. It makes no sense to really stop doing it. But you talk to a lot of people now and they say, we don't have everything from the start. So to try and retrofit and retro buy everything is going to be very, very expensive. But there's nothing stopping you from actually getting to the modulars now. And as I say, they're more exciting now because of the level of detail and the different building techniques that they actually bring into them every year. A lot of people are saying, redo them like that at the Taj Mahal, something like that. Taj Mahal was a once-off. It wasn't part of a range. So if they had to bring back like the corner Café, which is the very first one, it would probably destroy the range, I feel. And if they start redoing sets, then that would probably be a time where I'd then call it quits. Because there's no point in then buying a set that's already been done. And I hope Lego don't actually do that. I know there are a lot of people that do want it done because they're missing out on the earlier modulars, but I really hope Lego don't. Well, my other one is all the custom minifigures. So I've been also collecting minifigures. It was probably from about series 3 or 4. I've managed to since acquire 1 and 2. Britain Olympic team, the German soccer team. So I've got all of them. The only one I'm looking for is Mr. Gold. So if anybody wants to donate one, I'll be quite happy to accept it. So the importance of Mr. Gold is it came out in a series where there were only 5,000 of them made worldwide. So there was this mad hunt of people going around looking for Mr. Gold. Those that were lucky enough to find them have obviously got them. In those days, if you had to pay a couple of 30 or 40 Rand for it, you were lucky, because I think they're now going for in the regions of about 60,000 Rand for a Mr. Gold. I spoke to a person once before. He travelled the country looking for a Mr. Gold, and just as he was about to give up, he found one. It's the same as, you always find the thing in the last place you look. But he'd actually done a road trip across the country to go and find his Mr. Gold. So I make display cases for Lego, because the worst thing is, we all know dust is our enemy. And Lego's best displayed when it's out visible for everybody to see. It doesn't matter whether it's a single minifigure, a little car, your own home, your own mock, or whatever it is. The best is to actually display it. It's nice talking points when people see it. And essentially the Perspex cases keep the dust out. It's easier just to dust off the top of a display case as opposed to trying to get it out the studs. And as we know, the Lego actually starts getting sticky and becomes quite difficult to clean eventually. They're also nice as well, because you can then, I've got a whole ship collection that I've done as well. Those I've actually got mounted on a wall, so you can actually start mounting these display cases. When you run out of desk space, you can start hitting the walls with them as well. Right now it's basically word of mouth, so people in the different lugs, the Joburg lug, ZA lug, Cape Town lug, most people know me, so sometimes people say, who's that guy that does the cases, and my name pops up. I haven't advertised on websites yet. I've shown a few on the Lego Trader site on the Facebook pages, but it's a part-time hobby for me. It's not my normal day job, and right now it's keeping me rather busy in the evenings and weekends. I'm not complaining, because it's actually nice. It's even better when people have got different obscure cases that they want built. So I need to then design it and then build it for them. Thanks for watching this episode of BLockBlaze, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell.